So we are going into game number 3 here on the EU RageQuitTV Open Cup number 1.
Wow.
Sponsored by G Sports.
Yeah. Yep. Please check out gsports.com, our very generous sponsor. I am Drool. With me is Mr. Chic Thief. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a great tournament so far. Not that many players, but that's pretty convenient. So we just test our waters here, see what we're in for with this tournament. It's going to be every week on Tuesday, so definitely tune in next week. That's going to be at a different time, I think, because it's going to be on the US server. We're going to alternate. But enough of that, we can talk about that later. We have VirusSatiini in the 6th on the map of his choice, MLG Shadow Temple, and NaViSlaViK in the 9 o'clock position as the Zerg. Yeah, so Satini, he did lose that game on test bug. I think, I gotta say, I think, how's it called, Slavic really played the map, you know what I mean? Like, he really used the space to navigate around his roaches, and that's really something you can do. Like, with roaches, they're so clunky and slow. If you can't get into position, which you usually cannot due to the characteristics of a lot of maps, it's hard to really get them in position. But on this map, there's so much space, they can just spread out. And yeah, I have a feeling that Slavic knew exactly what he was doing here, and that's really nice.
Yeah, not only that, but roaches are actually kind of beefy. I mean, especially against mech or a heavy tank play, as we saw last game. I mean, those tanks did not stand a chance against the massive amount of roaches. I mean, usually Terran just goes mass marine with a few tank support to deal with the mutiling Baneling, as Lings are kind of weak, Banelings are also kind of weak, and you can out-micro them. But roaches, they're beefy, they're tough, they're hard. You're not going to be able to like out-damage their armor without taking heavy losses. I mean, you can't go into a straight-up fight against roaches and expect to win handily, like you can against Banelings if you micro properly. So that really helped. I mean, especially since there were also Banelings and Lings, he had a micro against those as well while still trying to deal with the roaches. So I think the composition really helped Slavic out there as well.
Yep, and I have to say, man, the Shadow Temple, it's kind of similar. The map has a similar character. A lot of open space. The space is being restricted by a few objects in the middle, but really not a huge deal. So, Satini, I feel like might want to play a more harass-oriented game, which he very well can, given the close air positions and standard staple opening from Satini. And we only see one barracks, so... Oh, but a fast factory. Did we see that in game 1 on Metal? The fast factory?
No, I don't think we did. I think we just saw a one rack into FE, I believe, or something similar. I mean, we saw a fast expand.
I think so too. So again, Satini does the same build basically. Like, he does a little bunker, sees how it works, but he doesn't really want to do anything with it. Forces Lings, which is all he really wants. I think he lost 1 Marine, which is fine, I guess. I'm not sure if he actually killed a drone. No, it doesn't look like it. In fact, yeah, Slavic definitely got the better of that. But now he's gonna go into Hellions. And maybe even with a fast starboard, yep. So he's gonna straight for Hellion drop action. And that's nice. He's gonna harass a lot. And if Slavic feels too safe here, he might pay dearly for it.
Yep, Satini's probably, like, this is what I'm expecting out of him, I'm guessing from him. He's gonna take his Hellions, he's gonna roam around the map a little bit, while getting Blue Flame, and then when his Blue Flame finishes, he's actually gonna take Marines and Hellions and Elevator them, and I would love to see that. I think that would be pretty great, way to just circumnavigate the ramp, in my opinion, if he just, like, elevates them into the main.
One Hellion poking out, Queen sees it. Drones being transferred, I was about to say being pulled. And ooh, the Hellion, is he gonna get intercepted? He's maneuvering around and it's definitely gonna get away. The Lings realize it, just gonna back away. But look at Slavic, I think he smells something here. He's spreading creep to the back, which is crucial, that enhances his queen mobility. He will be able to move around more freely to get into position to defend against the Hellions that will almost inevitably come in. And he will also be able to chase the medvac, so that creep trimmer, I really like that choice.
We're gonna have a Viking come out first, gonna go for those overlords, like the standard thing it is. Queens are able to like walk back there and maybe protect this overlord. But another thing this creep trimmer allows is that it allows like buildings to be placed back here and not have to worry about overlords dying or so. Also, it gives nice vision all around the ramp, or excuse me, the base. Then again, not sacrificing overlords for that. Overlord over here scouting the expansion, gonna try and get taken out, but actually this overlord cannot be hit from here if it's positioned properly with marine range, but Viking can kill it. So that overlord's gonna go down in the future unless this Viking gets killed.
Yep, the Viking chooses to scout around the goal, just tries to check for the most common OV positions, but no overlords out. So I feel like Slavic has a really good sense here in adjusting to what Satini is doing. And oh, look at the valuable scouting information that the Viking is giving Satini. If he has paid attention to that, that Slavic is looking for a third, but here's the drop, here's the wrath, but look at the amount of stealings. Holy crap, though, the Hellions doing a lot of damage to those. All the Marines have been cleaned up, and the medvac gets taken out, so there's no escape route for those guys. And look at the Queens trying to shut down the path, but oh my god, they get juked out, and now drones will suffer for this.
Yep, about, I would say 7 drones went down there. Yep. Magical control Arky is actually amazing. Hellions do get taken out, but look at the units lost that definitely went in favor of Satini. I mean, all the Zerglings died, all these Zerglings were made. These Zerglings aren't going to be able to pressure too much as Bunker is up. I mean, they could try and pressure, and they might do a little bit of damage, but really forcing that many Zerglings when there's no more pressure coming out for a little bit is pretty good, if you ask me. I mean, like, or no, those Lings are kind of bad since it's not drones, especially since you just lost 7 for free. But it does allow them to clear up the rocks here.
Looking at the harvester count, quite even, 39 to 42. In fact, 40-42, so definitely good for Satini. As we know, Terran usually can be behind in workers a little bit, as they have super workers. And yeah, he's gonna scout the third, knows exactly what Slavic is up to. Slavic also clearing out the rocks. Very reasonable, given the fact that he's behind workers and he really needs the production now and the economy to just, you know. So he's gonna get another hatch up there quite soon. Spire on the way, done in fact. So he's gonna be able to make mutas. And what's Satini up to? Looks like he's just gonna tank marine medevac it up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, just doing the most standard thing in the world. Unfortunate for Slavic that he didn't actually have any resources to get any mutas. Like, he had the gas, he just didn't have the minerals, so he wasn't actually able to get them as soon as the Spire finished. But we see Engineer Bay and Armory are done for Satini, so you can start getting upgrades anytime you want. Stim is on the way. Only about 40 seconds with 170 seconds in, so really not that far in. It's like 1/5 or 1/4. So really
late Stim, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean, that's the word, late.
Reminds me of the fact that I don't have the in-game timer on. Should do that. Show game timer. I hated it at first, but I got used to it. Yeah, what to know, this Obi, man, it's still alive, and it saw the armory, which is quite valuable. Now it even sees the next eBay. So the Viking is going to clear it out eventually, but that's pretty late. I would have liked to see that be killed earlier. And now we will have Zerglings on the right, mutas coming into the main. Note the creep shred, by the way, very good from Slavic. But missile turrets are up, now guarding each other. Satini is learning here too from the last few games where his placement wasn't perfect. And yeah, I just hope for Satini that he's going to be able to realize that these Zerglings are there.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything spotting those Zerglings at all, or those rocks, so if those rocks actually get taken out, and he doesn't know, I mean, even if he does notice that these rocks were taken out and he's able to defend these Zerglings perfectly, it's still one more pathway that Zerglings can go through to do some more damage. Gold is up for VirusSatiini. It's been up for a little bit, it's starting to get saturated, and man, that creep spread, like you were saying, it's pretty insane. Spreading in pretty much every direction. If Satini was to engage on that and not clear the creep, he could be in a ton of trouble.
Oh, and the Zerglings, they're done with the rocks, but looks like Satini just noticed in time by putting up that turret. The Lings are quite lazy, but the Mutas are in the main. They're gonna grab one tech lab that's fortunately for Satini not researching anything, but they should probably grab reactors at this point. There are 2 barracks with 2 reactors, or 1 reactor each, so definitely go for this. Marines, they're quite late to the party, so those Mutas definitely do a good amount of damage here. And force stim from about 10 Marines back out. Perfect play from Slavik, if you ask me. And oh my god, a lot of Mutas have been produced, so it's a total of how many?
20.
20 now.
Yeah. It looks like he's actually favoring more of the heavy Mutalist style. Like on one of those Zerg players that gets like 18 Mutalist and then just goes pure Ling Bling from there, as Ling Baneling is quite strong and Mutas they're really only good for harassment and straight up fights, so not too strong. But it looks like he's favoring that heavier Muta count. Ling's going into the natural, no tank, nothing really there to defend at all. I mean, there's
one Thor might just go down to those. And the Mutas coming in at the same time. Satini completely out of position. What are you doing, man? Thor gets picked up just in time, but it can be Magic Box and Zergling at this point. And yeah, it goes down.
Those Mutas were all actually clumped up for a second, took a massive Thor hit. They're all in the red. That's pretty important. And I just wanted to point this out, when he first picked off the tech lab, nothing was researching, but that was the only tech lab, so it's definitely necessary to get that rebuilt in time. Now he's researching combat shield, moving out across the map, but he has about 6 tanks, going against not too many Banelings, to be honest. Is Baneling speed done? Yeah, it's done, so actually this is looking pretty good for VirusSatiini right now in this position.
Note though, I want to point out and do that really. Want to emphasize that this is the same position like in game 1. Siege up on the side of the 4th base, which of course is now the 5th, and the 6th is up too. So very, very good economic situation for VirusSatiini. But apparently Satini's plan is to just pressure with that and then have huge amount of reinforcements come in, but I don't know if VirusSatiini falls for it this time. He did try to counter pressure, but the next army is already en route. Satini though, he's really spread out, so if he wants to make this work, he really needs to get his production going, and I think he needs another base. And here's the Zerglings picking up 3 tanks at least already. A lot of Banelings here can easily take out a lot of Marines, and I just feel like Satini is way too spread out here. I feel like VirusSatiini has a huge positional advantage. Yeah,
here we go. Banelings rolling in. All the tanks in the back going to start firing down. The Banelings didn't do too much damage to the Marines, but there weren't that many Marines in general. Mutas are going to be forced to pull back though, because there's still a good number of Marines and a Thor there. Those Marines are 2-1 with armor almost finished now. 4th command center for Satini is done, but those 5th and 6th bases are up for Navi. Not really doing anything. I mean, even his 4th isn't doing anything right now. Just kind of sitting there for extra production, as Zerglings cost a lot of larvae.
They do. They're not that efficient. And oh my god, another group of units getting picked up. Slav really getting his money worth out of those Mutas. But now Satini needs the pressure, and that's what he's doing. Going for the 4th. I just don't like this position. Oh, never mind, a drop in the main. This is Satini, man. Such a harass player, but look at the amount of Mutas coming in, trying to really defend here, which is so important. The 5th goes down though, and with the 4th now going up for Satini, I think he's going to be able to produce a lot more efficiently, and that's necessary because the economic situation for VirusSatiini is ridiculously good right now.
The 6th base also just went down. We have some Zerglings going into the tank line. These mutas are pretty much just magic boxing all over the place, almost grouped up there for a Thor shot. We're able to spread out just barely in time. Now picking off more and more reinforcements. Thor getting a free shot on some mutas again. He really needs to be careful with these mutalists before they take way too much damage than they need to. Looking around, just have a ton of banelings in the middle of the map, free tanks everywhere, and Satini is just sitting in that little choke. Honestly, if Slavic was to get tons of lings and just go in from a massive arc, all different angles, he would be able to clean this up quite easily, in my opinion.
No problem. Yeah.
But it's just a matter of actually getting those Zerglings out in time. Like, he has to get the banelings to defend against the Marines currently.
And look, now Satini is doing it right. He's massing up at home. He's not just mindlessly rallying. And he wants this position. He wants to keep it because he knows if he can get the gold for himself, which he should start working on the rocks, I guess. Then he's gonna be in a huge position. LOL at the spine crawler, by the way, in the middle of the map. That's really funny. But yeah, I mean, yeah, Satini now rallying a huge bunch of Marines over, and Slavic, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be very efficient to just throw money at this because Satini is really fortifying it. I think Slavic should counterattack a lot more at this point, but pressure coming from Satini, no medvacs, so those Marines are overstimmed. They can't stim much more. Medvacs definitely needed, I think. And but ultras coming out. I think ultras are actually a really nice choice here.
Kind of, not too great. I mean, they're good in general, they're BP units, but there's tons of mutas in the main. I mean, while you were just talking the whole time, those mutas were able to pick up a few production facilities. Should have went for the engineer bays, to be honest, and wow, there's just 1,000 missile turrets over here just defending these units. But he forced all the Marines back, and these mutas, which are super mobile, can actually just go clean this up right now if he just goes for it. Just, I mean, there's a ton of Marines, but really, I mean, those mutas could probably take him out. Or not.
I like how careful Slavic is with his mutas though. Like, he really, really wants to keep them and he knows it. And I don't get why Satini is still rallying in that position. He has to give it up. It's pretty much dead right now. Huge throw from Zerglings. But the Marines are too well upgraded. Here come Banelings though. Tanks sieging up just in time. Satini really, really getting me to the edge of my seat because he's doing so much risky stuff. Supplies are still almost even though, only a 14 supply lead for the Zerg here, and yeah, he's re-expanding. I think Slavic is looking quite good in this, I have to say. I mean, he was tech-in, he didn't really, he was never under real pressure. This position on the in the top is kind of weird. Still, like, I don't know why. Like, I saw the point in the beginning, but I don't see why Satini invested so much in it. It looks like he's going for it again. Bailing bombs, actually. Ooh. Oh,
I just completely...
No, oh no!
Oh, that's pretty huge, taking out all those Marines. Definitely worth the wait to watch those. We have about 6 ultras out on the field right now, and really, if he goes in with everything, he'll do massive damage. Some mutas in the main, trying to do what damage they can. And we actually have a fusion core on the field done, and gonna probably start seeing some battle cruisers out in just a bit. I mean, we saw Satini do this in game 1 of Metalopolis, just a single battle cruiser out on the field. Marines heading over to the 5th base, gonna go ahead and pick that off. They do have their 3 attack, 2 armor. I just gotta say, I mean, these tanks also have 2 attack, or the mechs, and that just does massive damage right now.
Oh, the mutas! Trying to bait Marines into 2 bird banelings didn't work, and he lost the mutas in the process. And now I think Satini really should go for some drones here. He tries to snipe hatcheries. I think
here we go, Ultras going in. All the banelings pretty much doing nothing right now except running to their death. All the Marines pick up into the medevacs and are gonna unload on the high ground. Not enough mutas to actually take those out, so they're just all dying right now. And those Marines are pretty much like now just gonna be able to pick up and just go harass. Some Marines still over at the top, just gonna get taken out. These Ultras are just going for it. They know they need to do some damage with this, so he's just going for it right now. But really, Slavic's running out of money. I mean, he's down to 50 minerals, and that's about it. I mean, like, he's not mining too much minerals, and he has tons of gas. So yeah, this is actually looking really bad for Slavic, to be honest, at this point.
Good positioning off the tanks in the natural for Satini. He still has this high ground. Probably, yeah, he needs to unload here. And yeah, the mutas are scared away. And as you said, Slavic is out of money. He lost a lot of drones. He's only at 53 drones. That's horrible. Zerg needs to be at something like 70 right now, and he can't mine anyways. Like he couldn't save his hatcheries, and he's down to 1 mineral patch in his natural that's going to be mined out in just a second, and he needs to go for it, and that's what he's doing. But way too many tanks and marines in good positions. Those ultras will die so quickly, and Satini has this, man. He has so much production. He's 80 supply ahead, and yeah, he just turtled for so long and really got a good lead out of it, I think. And do you think Brute Lords would have been better as a tech switch? Because really, Slavic was in a position for quite some time where he could just do whatever he wanted. Like, he could tech to whatever he wanted. So
I feel like if he would have taken care of that position when there's a lot less units there, like there was a time when there was like 3 tanks and like 8 marines. If he would have taken care of it right there, and wow, that hatchery didn't actually get cancelled. That's actually pretty huge since he's so low. But if he would have taken care of it, then he would have been in much better shape, as he wouldn't have had to deal with all of this right now. And really, I mean, losing all his mutalisks is actually more important than it's just like, oh, he doesn't have mutas now. It's now allows for drops to be everywhere. You have a drop in the natural right now that can start doing damage. It's gonna go ahead and do some damage. It's gonna clean up by some ultras, but doing massive damage to those ultras before it does so. And this is allowing him to push forward in the middle of the map. Gonna get great siege position right here and start splitting up his units. And I don't think Slavic's gonna be able to hold. If he holds this, he's not gonna be able to hold the next attack, and he's not even gonna try. He's just gonna GG out.